Alright, here we go. I'm going to briefly explain how to do this assignment, and we're going to start off with part 1, proportional analysis. It says graph the proportional relationship represented by the data in the table. So this is kind of review back at 6th grade of how you graph, but we've got x is -6 and y is -2, so I'm going to go -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then -1, 2, and plot a point there. And then I'm going to graph -3 and -1, so I'm going to go to -1, 2, 3, and -1. And then 0 and 0, so that's right here at the origin. And -3 and +1. I'm sorry, +3, +1. So +1, 2, 3, and a +1. And then last one, +6 and +2. So +1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then +1, 2. And put the point there. Let me get a straight line to connect these. And that's what that graph looks like. And so that's number 1. Number 2, it says graph the proportional relationship represented by that equation. So I'm going to write that equation down here. Y equals -5x, and that's it. Now, the y-intercept in this situation is nothing, or it's 0 really, because it's y equals mx plus b. But they didn't have this last section, so that means my y-intercept is 0. So I'm going to put a point at the y-intercept, and my rise over run is 5 over 1. So I'm going to rise up 5, and I'm going to run over just one place. But I have to make sure that this slope heads downward because it has a negative slope. So I'm going to rise up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and run over one location. I'm going to do it one more time. Rise up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and run over 1. Put a point there. So I'm going to keep it going in this direction. Rise down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1. And that's enough for me to connect my points. And I didn't get that one perfect. You would use like a straight edge, but there you go. That's how you graph number 2. So now let's take a look at applying your skills. The distance a migrating bog turtle has traveled in a given number of days is shown in the table right here. So first thing they want us to do is draw a line through the data point. So I have to graph this, okay? So here's my x values down here, and this is going to be my y values. So I'm going to create a y-axis. Let's see. And I'm going to create an x-axis. And you get to count by whatever scale you want, but on my x-axis I need to go from 0 to 10 at least. So I'm going to go 0, and then I can go 1, skip a line, 2, skip a line, 3, skip a line, 4, skip a line, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And so now my y-axis, I have to go from 0 up to 180. And you can count by whatever you want. I'm going to count by, let's see, we'll just count by tens. So this is, well, 10 might not be enough. Let's see. Let's count by 20s. So this is 20, and that is 40, and that is 50, and that is 60, and that is, oops, 80, and that is 100, and that is 120, and 140, 160, and 180. There we go. 2040. Oh, messed up there. Let's see. Looks like I didn't count. I didn't keep a consistent scale there. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, 200. There we go. Now I have 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, 200. Your scale has to be the same. So now I'm going to plot these points. So I'm going to plot 0, 0. Well, that's easy. That's right here. 0, 0. Okay, it's at the origin. And then 2 days and 36 distance. So I'm going to go to 2 days, and I'm going to go up to 36. So this is 40, so 36 would be just a little lower. About somewhere around right there, okay, if I'm going to guesstimate it. 5 days and 90. So I'm going to go over to 5 days, and I'm going to go up to 90. That should be this line right here because it's in between 80 and 100. And then the last one is 10 days and 180 yards distance. So 10 days up to 180. And I'm going to connect my points like that. And there we go. I've graphed it. So I drew a line through all the data points, calculate the unit rate, and explain what it means in terms of this situation. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to look to see what my unit rate is. And in order to do that, I know that 36 yards is going to be traveled in 2 days. Okay? My unit rate is going to be how far they're going to travel in 1 day. So you see, to get from 2 to 1, I just divided. I cut it in half. So that means I would divide 36 in half, and that would give me 18 yards. So this is my unit rate. 18 yards in 1 day. That's how far they're going to travel. And what it means in this situation is they will travel 18 yards in 1 day. So I'm going to write a sentence explaining the relationship between the unit rate and the slope of the line. Now this slope right here, you can pick any 2 points. Like I can pick this point right here and this point right here and count my rise up and count my run over. Okay, so from 90 all the way up to 180, that has a rise of 90. And from 5 over to 10, that has a run of 5. See, that's my scale from 5 to 10. So I rose up 90 places, and I ran over 5 places. So that means that my slope here is 90 over 5. Well, that will simplify. You can divide both by 5. It will simplify to 18 over 1. So, if I was to write a sentence explaining the relationship between the unit rate, which is that, and my slope, which is that, I would say something to the effect of that they are the same. Okay, they're equivalent. My unit rate is the same as my slope.